By now, you've probably watched all 3 seasons of Stranger Things, or at least know about the show. But do you consider yourself a real Stranger Things fan? You have to watch the video until the end to find out if you are a real fan. So, let's get right to it. Number 10. Order a Demogorgon Frappuccino. Can you order a Demogorgon Frappuccino without any reference? If you can, you truly are a Stranger Things fan. The drink at Starbucks is inspired by the terrifying monster from the series Stranger Things, but unlike that character, the only thing frightening about this drink is that you'll have to ask for it ingredient by ingredient at your local Starbucks, rather than simply ordering off the menu. The recipe for this frap comes to us from the drink experts at TotallyTheBomb.com, who have perfectly mimicked the colors of the Demogorgon. If you're not a fan of Stranger Things, you will have no idea where to start while ordering this drink. The drink blends flavors like green tea, strawberry, and white mocha to create something unlike any other Frappuccino you've ever had. To get the exact drink, ask for a grande green tea Frappuccino with strawberry puree on the bottom, 1 scoop of matcha, 1 scoop of Java chips, 1 pump of white mocha, and mocha drizzle on top. And that, my friends, is how you get your very own Demogorgon Frappuccino. You'll be feeling like you're in the upside down when drinking this one. Remember, you have to give your barista these steps, as this is a secret menu item from Starbucks. Number 9. Cool references. The entire premise of Stranger Things is an eerie reflection of an episode of The Twilight Zone called Little Girl Lost. In the episode, a little girl goes missing after her mother tucks her into bed. Her parents hear her cries for help but are unable to find her and discover that she has been transposed to a parallel dimension. Some of the scenes in Stranger Things were also inspired and include references to the movie Poltergeist. The name of the movie appears in a flashback scene when Castle buyers Joyce surprises Will with tickets to see Poltergeist. The similarity between the two movies appears when both the trapped kids try to communicate with their respective mothers in basically the same way. Will communicates through light bulbs while Carrie Ann through a television. We also have another cool reference. The smiley face yellow yo-yo used by Jonathan and Nancy to set a trap for the Demogorgon is a reference to Smiley Face in the 80s horror classic The Howling. Also in Stranger Things, the police chief comes to know about an experiment involving LSD and a patient. This scene pays homage to Stephen King's novel Firestarter. And that's not all. The upside-down world where the Demogorgon lives shares similarities with the video game Silent Hill. Number 8. The original story. Stranger Things was supposed to be an anthology series with different characters and settings every season, but only true fans know this. The Duffer Brothers meant for it to kick off with a monster-centric flash of 1980s nostalgia, but then they wanted it to tell new eerie tales and progress through the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and then 2020, in a final season that would air in 2020. The show would have said goodbye to Eleven, Dustin, Will, Mike, Lucas, and the rest of the cast after the first season. Luckily, they realized how special the team they'd assembled was and chose to keep focusing on their original story. Something else only true fans know is that Stranger Things was rejected 15 times. In the beginning, the Duffer Brothers prepared a script of the Stranger Things series along with a 20-page pitch book. They pitched the story to 15 cable networks, but all of them rejected it, as they felt that a plot centered on children as leading characters wouldn't work. They even asked the Duffer Brothers to make it a children's show, or drop the children and focus on Hopper's investigation in the paranormal. But eventually, the whole season was purchased by the streaming service Netflix for an undisclosed amount. Netflix was so impressed with Stranger Things that they bought the show within 24 hours of hearing the pitch. Number 7. Robin was rewritten for Maya Hawke. Maya was not a Stranger Things fan when the show hit the screens, but her parents were great fans who convinced her to watch the show, and by the time she landed a role, she was already a huge fan. When Robin was introduced in Stranger Things, she quickly became a fan favorite. Robin works at Scoops Ahoy and Starcourt Mall with Steve Harrington. At some point in the season, she ends up in the middle of all the drama with Dustin and Lucas's little sister Erica. However, the version of the character that Matt and Ross Duffer created ahead of Season 3 wasn't the one we got to see on screen. Maya Hawke revealed that the sibling showrunners tweaked the character after they got to know her a little better. When she accepted the part, Hawke was told that Robin was a sarcastic and down-to-earth Madonna wannabe that nobody seemed to notice. But Robin slowly morphed into someone closer to Hawke's own personality. Robin starts off as a sarcastic high schooler scooping ice cream, but as the story goes along, we discover she's also quietly loyal, speaks multiple languages, plays in a band, and won't hesitate to spit in the face of bullies. Hawke revealed that she and the Duffers didn't decide that Robin should be a lesbian until they were around halfway through filming the season. The other person who wasn't supposed to last on Stranger Things is Steve, but only real fans know this. The Duffer Brothers had initially planned to do away with Steve, but when they started getting to know actor Joe Keery, they rewrote the entire character. Steve started to evolve a bit and became more charming and likable to the point where when they were writing season 1, they realized they wanted to give him more of an arc. Number 6, the title. Did you know that the now iconic title sequence was inspired by motion graphics designer Richard Greenberg? He designed the titles for films including Alien, Superman, and The Goonies. The title of the show was also based on Stephen King's novel Firestarter. They used the cover of the book to come up with different ideas and eventually settled on Stranger Things. They also used 80s Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook as an inspiration for the font used for Stranger Things. True fans of the show also know that a list of the show's alternate titles is somewhere out there, but Matt Duffer told the Daily Beast he hopes it's never leaked because it is so embarrassing. Number 5, connection to the U.S. government. Before producers switched the setting to a small town in Indiana, the eerie action of season 1 was going to take place way out at the eastern end of Long Island. Apparently, the show is based on real conspiracy theories about the United States government conducting reality-bending experiments on children. Rumors that the U.S. government had been conducting experiments in psychological warfare in Montauk at either Camp Hero or the Montauk Air Force Station began to bubble up in the mid-1980s. Well, this is the same time Stranger Things is set. In the Montauk Project, Experiments in Time, Preston B. Nichols recovered repressed memories about his stint as a subject in a mysterious experiment. Soon others involved with the Montauk Project came forward to corroborate some of Nichols' claims. They gave numerous interviews about their involvement in experiments involving space, time, and other dimensions. Sometime in 1943, the U.S. government allegedly collaborated with Europeans who had captured aliens and helped in the experiments. In Episode 3 of Stranger Things, Holly Jolly, Chief Hopper of Hawkins Police Department, examines the microfiche of various newspapers. In the scene, the title appears, MK Ultra Exposed. Project MK Ultra was a real project in the U.S. and is also known to have been the CIA's mind control program. It started in the 1950s and officially halted in 1973. Number 4, the real deal about the Demogorgon. Do you know the life cycle of the Demogorgon? The monster starts its life as the not-so-average slug, as shown when it was coughed up by Barb and Will in Season 1. The slug turns into a polywog, a name given through Dustin's investigation of Dart. The polywog continues to grow until it has 4 limbs and a darker color. After this, the petal mouth is formed, and its size is more menacing until it becomes a Demodog. From the Demodog emerges the fully fledged monster of the Upside Down, the Demogorgon. The creature got its nickname from L, and it was highly inspired by the game and the show Dungeons & Dragons. However, the Demogorgon of the Dungeons & Dragons world is not the Demogorgon the audience associates with Stranger Things. The physical description of the D&D Demogorgon is that of 2 baboon heads attached to a body that is both reptilian and muscular, while Stranger Things' Demogorgon is a screeching, interdimensional monster with a flower face of death. D&D's Demogorgon is a demon lord who calls itself the Prince of Demons, according to a Dungeons & Dragons page. This means the D&D Demogorgon can speak, unlike the one in Netflix. The one in Hawkins has limbs which are clawed and tentacular, while its tail is forked. It is also sleek, tall, leering, and has a head that opens to reveal rows of teeth inside the petal-like void. Number 3, Mike was supposed to have a birthmark. One of the initial ideas was that Mike Wheeler, played by Finn Wolfhard, was supposed to have a birthmark on his cheek. After playing around with the concept, the Duffer Brothers ditched the idea. Finn confirmed the fact himself, saying in the Stranger Things Worlds Turned Upside Down book that his original character had a big birthmark on his face. That was actually a story point, but they ended up removing it because they thought that the kids were better off staying natural. Just think of the fan theories that a distinctive mark like that could have spawned. Number 2, the name Upside Down was made up on set. Initially, the Duffer Brothers chose the name Montauk for the show. In addition, it was the site of the Montauk Project urban legend, which was researching supernatural phenomena in the 80s. Eventually, the show was set in a fictional location, so the writers had more creative freedom. Apart from the name of the show, something else changed while they were on the set. As the Duffer Brothers revealed on Beyond Stranger Things, the Upside Down was referred to as the Nether in the original scripts. But once the series aired and fans heard the way Eleven and the boys flip over the Dungeons & Dragons board to explain the alternate dimension, the term Upside Down stuck. And number 1, Stranger Things introduced us to 11, meaning there have always been other test subjects. There was an appearance by 8, but not much is known about the other test subjects. Only true fans know about the other ones, but we've got you covered in case you're still in the dark. In the comic books, 3 and 9.5 already safely escaped from Brennan's Project Indigo before Stranger Things starts up. 3, who can plant suggestions in people's minds, manages to escape from the Hawkins National Laboratory 5 years before Stranger Things starts, and he takes 9.5 with him. In the process, 6, who can see the future, dies, and 9.5's twin sister, and the one with actual powers, is believed to also be deceased. They go on the hunt for 8, who is continuing her murder spree 3 months before Season 3 takes place. She, in turn, reveals that 9, who had been presumed dead for the past 7 years, is still alive, and the 3 ex-Hawkins siblings set out to save her. 9 is being held in some type of hospital or facility where she's kept on medication to suppress her pyrokinetic abilities. From the comic books, we also know a bit of backstory about 6. The book Stranger Things 6 put the lives of a few other test subjects into focus, and 6, also known as Francine, serves as the central figure. She was a member of the Indigo Project with cognitive abilities, as was her boyfriend, 3, or Ricky. One sequence sees 6 speaking candidly with Dr. Brenner, where he reveals that the Hawkins lab, where tests are being conducted on children with superpowers, is not the only facility of its kind in the world, alluding to a larger conflict that could be brewing. Perhaps a set of flashbacks will fill in the gaps and reveal the experiences of other test subjects during the invasion of Hawkins. If Callie and the gang do return for Season 4 in Stranger Things, They could play a pivotal role in helping Eleven reclaim her powers. There's also the chance they could use their abilities to track down Hopper in the Russians' facilities. So, how well do you really know Stranger Things? Let us know in the comments section below. This has been Riveted, and we publish amazing videos daily.